Yeah, how was the experience of making the new one?
The experience for this one was unique compared to the other albums in that it happened quite stream of consciousness. Three of us sitting down, playing a very simple motif or something, singing a few words, almost in a mantra thing, for maybe an hour, recording it as we went, not editing it, and just walking away from it when it was done, not immediately going back to it and tinkering with it and changing things, but just we let it sit for months on end. And we did this every day, a brand new thing every day, but let it sit for a couple months, and then maybe 3-4 months we'd go back and we might hear just a small snippet within an hour that might become the few opening phrases of Snowflake in a Hot World. And maybe from another month we might hear another few measures, cycles, that may become the middle part of Snowflake in a Hot World. So it was unusual in that way compared to the traditional style of me bringing in a full song or a large part of a song and pointing out to people where I thought changes should go and parts.
Yeah. Okay. Can you describe the dynamics of the band? Like, what would really be a thing that Grasshopper would always say or do? Or
is there any beer in the fridge?
But that's a Grasshopper. Okay.
In a really good way. If you mean musically,
yeah.
Sure. I don't. That's a tough one. It's a good question. I think the three of us, generally speaking, would have the same reaction after most of the performances. Wow, how long was that?
Okay.
Stepping out a bit of the time factor of being conscious of what you're playing and simply enjoying playing together. You know, there's only three of us, so there's only so much that can be performed at one time, but enjoying that simplicity of it. And obviously there's electronics on the new record, and so in some ways it was enjoyable to sit down, not at the piano or at the acoustic guitar, but just to sit down at some old synthesizers we had that we haven't used since See You on the Other Side. Tinker around a bit, and just sort of, I don't know, not even look for a direction, but just go from the first point and sort of go from there without wondering about, is that a single? Is that a song? Is it too long? And just enjoying what sort of came out.
And it was different 10 years ago than you were different?
10 years ago it was probably more, I wouldn't say it was always song-based, but there was always that element of, at some point I would bring in a chord or chords and lyrics, or enough lyrics to sort of get people onto the same frequency of, here's the song, here's Racing the Tide, and play it. Now on top of that we might experiment a whole lot, but there was always that beginning to it,
yeah.
You know.